Hey everyone, Matt St. John from V Technologies, or aka StarShip here. Thank you for joining my session, and thank you to SWK for hosting another Empower conference. So today I just want to go through basically 5 ways to supercharge your shipping. Going to do a brief slide deck. We'll talk a little bit about StarShip, V Technologies as a company, and then we'll do a brief demo. But of course, please feel free to reach out to your SWK rep if you have any further questions, would like to see a live demo or do a discovery call, or also after this, please feel free to join our live Q&A. More than happy to answer any questions during the Q&A session. Real quick, a little bit about V Technologies. We've been developing integrated shipping solutions since 1987, and we are located in Connecticut. I've been working with the Sage product line for 21 years now. Of course, we are a Sage Gold development partner. We do integrate with a dozen other ERP systems, but with Sage, integrate with 100, 300, and 500. And of course, our relationship with SWK, actually been working with SWK for 23 years, and we're helping hundreds of mutual customers improve their shipping workflow. I actually did a little research and found we have a mutual customer that's been using StarShip since 1998. And we currently have about 10,000 customers that are using our integrated shipping softwares to help streamline their day-to-day shipping activity. On my machine right now is the StarShip program, and one of the nice things about StarShip is as a shipper, I could actually just work inside of StarShip. So I don't need access to Sage. I don't even need it installed on, say, my workstation out in the warehouse. But regardless of that, this is a live connection. So I'm going to pull by sales orders. So down here in this lookup grid, these are all my sales orders that are inside of Sage. Okay, so as customer service reps are adding them or making changes, just know StarShip's going to pick up those new orders or those changes. Now, for a sales order, I can manually type in the number up top. If it happens to be barcoded, we can even use just a wedge type plug and play barcode scanner. Or again, down here, I can even sort by any of these columns. We could add remove columns or even narrow the search result by adding a Sage filter. So we can filter by any of these Sage fields. And here I'll just quickly type in sales order 222 and have StarShip load it. Wait a minute, StarShip didn't load it. That's only because in my system, I actually have it turned on where StarShip is showing me, hey, I see you're trying to ship sales order 222, but I also see you have all these other shipments going to the same ship to. So StarShip does fully support the ability to consolidate multiple orders going to the same ship to, or even by the same PO number. So now I could quickly select them all and then consolidate this into one shipment. But here I'll just select the single order, and StarShip's just loaded in all my order header and line item detail information, and we simply do this by data mapping the Sage fields. So here's my source information, company. We do fully support multiple companies, warehouses, and locations. Sender information, I just want to highlight this because if anyone out there is doing blind or drop shipments, just know StarShip fully supports the ability to change the company name, even the address information. Here in my system, I have it set up where it's automatically selecting the tractor supply company. Because again, we're simply data mapping fields. So I have the company name field pointed to a Sage user-defined field that I have on the sales order, and that's what StarShip's looking at, and that's how it knows to automatically select tractor supply company. Right? And that's really true with all these StarShip fields. You know, we're here to help streamline the shipping process. So the less things as a shipper I have to type, touch, click, of course, the better. Recipient, mapping in your ship to information. StarShip will do address validation. We do validate ZIP+4 as well as the residential commercial flag. Transportation, we're looking at your ship via code. So telling StarShip carrier, service, billing type. And again, we can automate the third-party collect where that's all that information is automatically going to be populated. We even have a database where you can set up and store your customers' address information, including multiple account numbers. Same thing with shipment details. I can trigger these from Sage, manually select them, or even set them as defaults. But really in the packaging, this is where as a shipper in a live environment, usually the first spot I go to, because this is where I can get into that item box detail. I can add boxes. Of course, if this was an LTL shipment, I could do item box pallet detail. So here, this blanket, I have a packaging scenario. StarShip does support those. Or if I'm using a WMS, just know that's however I define the shipment on the handheld device, that's how it will flow into StarShip. But with this packaging scenario, StarShip knows, hey, every time they ship a blanket, I know they put it in a blanket box or a package that I've called blanket. From there, if I need to add an additional box, I can simply click this icon. We have a repeat box function, so I can quickly add as many boxes as I need. And then over here, if I wanted to, say, put this pillow in the blanket box, it is simple drag and drop. Packaging database, as I mentioned earlier, this is where I could set up and store my different bags, boxes, bales, pallets, whatever it may be. So here I'm going to say, hey, this goes in a small box. My quantities, we do have a security feature that would allow your shipper to back order items. And then, of course, StarShip would write back that back ordered value into Sage. And again, here's my actual weight. So coming from a scale, manually type these in, or in my system, pulling them directly from Sage. And then still weight is the dimensional calculation. So this is where I can see, in this case, hey, I'm going to be charged 19 pounds. Maybe I can find a smaller box. After we do packaging, we simply scroll down, and here's my live rate shopping. So again, I'm going to be able to see business days, total days, ETAs, list charge, contract charge, even applied. And applied in StarShip terms is simply plus or minus any freight rules. So if anyone's doing things like free shipping over X amount of dollars, or this certain customer receives a discount, or maybe you upcharge a flat rate, a handling fee, just know StarShip can automatically populate the correct freight amount for you. Also, we can automate selecting the carrier service. So we have customers that do best way shipping, and there's just a rule inside StarShip that tells it, hey, automatically select the least expensive carrier service, maybe the least amount of business days as well. So can even take that whole process away from the shipper. StarShip is always going to select the least expensive carrier. And then over here, when I'm ready to process a shipment, I simply click the ship and process button. We can also do things like create a return label at the same time. And in a live environment, normally StarShip would just start automatically printing out my documents. But here for the demo, I PDF everything so you can see them. And we'll go back to the first document here. Also in my system, I don't have a thermal printer, so I'm using this smart label. As you see, it prints a shipping label and packing list together. Just an option, of course, we can send shipping labels to thermal printers. Packing list, you also can send that to a thermal printer, of course, regular laser printer, or if you wanted to, save it to a network share as a PDF. So box 1, box 2, documents be customized, unlimited templates for each of the documents, and then on those templates, you can assign printing rules. So here, because this is for Tractor Supply Company, I have a special template for the packing list for TSC, and then there's a rule inside StarShip that it knows, okay, anytime the shipment's for TSC, automatically generate this special packing list. And because this was international, all my international documents, there's a shipper's letter of instruction. We do fully support the new certificate of origins, commercial invoices. This one here I even customized so it's signed and dated. And of course, LTL shipments, bill of lading forms, pallet labels. So really set this up where as a shipper now, I don't have to stop and fill out any of the documents. StarShip's automatically going to print them for me. And once they print out, StarShip's just automatically going to take me back to the main screen where I can rinse, repeat, grab my next order, go through that process again. And then I'll just jump back into Sage and show you the write back. So as soon as the shipper clicks ship and process, StarShip automatically creates the sales order, or I'm sorry, the invoice. So here's sales order 222 on the header. Here's my tracking information. Now this is in the correct Sage table, so I can even use their tracking icon, or maybe I want to see what was in each box. I can see the item to box detail. And then on the totals tab, writing back the freight amount, plus or minus any freight rules, or if there's some scenarios where you do not want StarShip to write back the freight, we can set up write back rules as well. Also under my freight amount, I do have 2 user-defined fields. With StarShip, we can even do custom write back, so we can take additional shipping information, send it back into, say, a user-defined field. So here, I'm always passing back my contract rate or what I'm going to be charged by the carrier. And then in this case, before someone updates the invoice, they can actually look and see, hey, wait a minute, we're shorting ourselves here. We gave the customer a discount. No, we should be charging them $75. Okay. So again, real quick on the write back. Also know with the sales order entry, we do include a rate shop button. So customer service reps can actually do live rate shopping. This is included with StarShip. No additional user seats or licenses required. So it really gives the front office the power to rate shop. And then also our dashboard program, just like the rate shop feature, it is included with StarShip, does not require any additional user seats or licenses. And I'm just going to access this through the StarShip program, but we do have this as a standalone. So here I just have some history statuses, and maybe we quickly want to come in and see, what happened to a shipment. Also have heat maps. If you want to kind of maybe see your hot spots, you could see them. Also a bunch of canned crystal reports, address correction, late delivery, so on and so forth. And then here's that e-notify program that I was talking about earlier, where I'll just go to my pending and pull up one of these that I have. Created my own template, my company information, as you see, bringing in Sage fields, giving my customer all the shipment information, hyperlink tracking numbers so they can go right to the carrier's website, or even a promo code where I can hyperlink that to my website. Again, really appreciate everyone taking time to sit through my session and watch this video. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to your SWK rep. I'm more than happy to schedule a discovery and live demo call. Or if you stay put, again, we're going to have that live Q&A, and more than happy to answer questions during that session. So thanks again, and hope everyone has a good one.